Welcome to the Numerology and Astrology. This one is for January 29th, 2022. If you add all those numbers together, you get the number 18. And if you add the 1 and the 8 together, you get the number 9. The number 9 is a feminine number. It's a water number. It's an intuition number. It's a number that helps us to learn to listen to those subtle voices within. When we pay attention to what is just below the surface of our awareness, a whole new world opens up. Answers we seek come from the soft whispers of the angels rather than the loud raging of our conscious mind. Today is a beautiful day for art, painting, writing, being creative, and reclaiming that center that is naturally inside each of us. It is important to notice when our external world can throw us off that critically important center. Peace comes from not letting the world's convulsions pull us under, but from working towards more mindfulness, clarity, and centered purpose. This number 9 indicates that the internal treasures are more powerful and precious than any external wealth, fame, or power. The astrology today. The moon shifts from adventurous Sagittarius into the practical sign of Capricorn. Excitement fades and responsibilities arrive on the grounded hooves of the Capricorn goat. We are being asked to stay alert and more aware of what is happening in our immediate surroundings. Venus finally turns direct, and while it will cause some confusion as things turn around, it will allow us to find a more straightforward way to move ahead in the coming months. While we are learning to find confidence in ourselves by being comfortable in what we have currently and appreciating this moment, there are still many diplomatic steps that we will have to navigate. The first one is that the first step is one that tries to help us appreciate those in our immediate surroundings. Great patience is being asked of us, especially in our social world. There are many feelings arising that many feel a constant state of overwhelm, and coping with daily tasks can feel like a huge challenge. Know that we are in an astrological time of great confusion and many feeling spacey, disoriented, and lost. Processing the sheer volume of emotion is something that many have not managed to learn appropriate skills, and that would help them skillfully navigate this moment. Be kind, be patient, do not react. Just allow others to find the necessary skills that can help them become a more successful communicator. The moon and Mars will align with Venus this evening, and it makes us need a plan to follow so we can have some sort of gauge to calculate progress in this physical world. My quote for today: we need discernment to bring us into the present moment. Too many are living in a past that they have made up to make themselves comfortable. Too many live in a future that does not exist, and this causes anxiety and a feeling as if we are out of touch with the real world. Discernment is the moment when we understand that we must take action now. Discernment cares not for who is at fault. Shame and reproach are the weapons of the weak and the wicked. Better judgment requires a capacity for discernment. Only then will self-correction become an option. And my blog for today. I know everyone is completely exhausted by the news and the way our modern world loves to feed toxicity to the masses. Perhaps we should call some news what it is: Soylent Green. Humanity seems determined to feed upon itself until it destroys consciousness, hope, love, and those best human qualities. The world seems to feed on the fuels of lies, projections, fear, hate, anger, controversy, conspiracy, and resentment. And it is having a terrible and disastrous impact on our lives. People are giving up and feeling hopeless. The elderly do not want to live in this world. They actively are saying, perhaps it is time for me to leave. We are doing something very wrong when we are creating a world that seems to lose its value. I know there are those brave and courageous souls holding a light for progress, change, and to make things better. I am one of many. Many of us out there are on the front edge of the wave, determined to wake up as many as possible so we can become more unified in an approach that will have merit and long-term value. COVID has taken a toll in ways that brings more than just depression and anxiety. I remind myself that in 1918, there was the Spanish flu epidemic in which hundreds of millions of people also died. And we had World War II and then the Great Depression. There was also that was such a terrible time in which we had less good medical care, antibiotics, or ways to treat infections. I am very grateful that at this moment in time, there are options for those if they are willing to try. The consequences of our actions and lack of action will seem to color this time in history in some very unappealing ways. History can be brutal and probably should be, so we learn and require the truth of the real history in our schools and universities. I can see historians specializing at this time in history, just like so many get their PhDs in World War II history, and those future students also being horrified at the actions of a few and the choices of too many, and the lack of action by the powers that be in one of the most significant and disastrous times in this century. Thanks, everybody.